know why you'd call me ho, but I'm playing the theme song.
I can't hear it, so. Oh, I can hear it.
I know why you'd call me ho, but I'm playing the theme song.
Surprise! I can't.
I bet you thought you'd seen the last of me.
I already had people complaining. Welcome to American Horror Stream. I'm your co-host, Acadia Einstein, here with the bedazzled Mel's Bells. Hi, Mel's.
Hello, everyone.
Are you happy?
I'm extremely happy. How about yourself?
Well, considering just how much witchery there was in this episode, I'm super, super happy.
Yes, of course.
We're back at our regular time after all the madness surrounding the Women in Horror Film Festival. Now I'm back. Well, I'm still not in the place where I usually am, but at least I'm in a place. So that's something. With my cool backdrop. Gallery.
You're gonna be like me or whatever and get you a cool backdrop?
Yeah, but I want mine to be the same size whether I'm in the little picture or the big picture. So
Yeah, okay.
Just need to get you like 3 more of those things.
Funny man, I see.
What? Will help. All we need is a couple more.
So
All right.
what do you think of the episode?
I think that honestly, I don't think it was better than the one before it, but I was very, very happy with the whole thing. And I like the fact that the whole idea that Langdon was actually a witch was a bunch of nonsense.
I agree. A warlock.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, everybody, if you're watching this or listening to it and you didn't watch the latest episode of American Horror Story, then you're dumb and you should turn it off and go watch it and come back. Or if you can't watch it and this is the only way that you're going to find out what happened, that's unfortunate. But hey, we're going to do the best we can.
And if that is true, then Acadia apologizes for calling you dumb.
Yes. However, I am going to give the super abbreviated, fast version of the recap so that everybody can be all up to speed, and then we can just pick into the parts that we want. Does that make sense?
Sounds good to me.
All right, then. So, when we last left our witches, Sarah Paulson, Cordelia, had taken a digger after she saw Langdon come up with Queenie and Madison. So then the delicious Frances Conroy, Myrtle there, and the rest of them were trying to wake her up. And she was having a crazy dream / premonition of a bunch of zombies and a big ghoulish thing that kind of looked like Langdon. And it really freaked her out because it looked like it was going to be, zombie apocalypse, blah, blah, blah. And she decides that she's so shook that she's going to allow Langdon to take the 7 Wonders test. And Myrtle is outraged. Outraged, I say.
Outraged.
But Cordelia says, if we're going to do this and we're going to have this big battle, then maybe we need maybe we need this guy. So we're going to let him do the 7 Wonders. Makes sense, I guess. Except that one of the warlocks is not fucking down with it whatsoever, and it's the Cheyenne Jackson guy. Because when Cordelia and the witches say, all right, 2 weeks. Jackie says that your headband is cute, by the way, Mel's.
Yay, thank you. It has little skulls and the flowers.
Oh, yeah, look at that. That's a lot of stuff going on in your head there.
Well, I was tired of you just like stealing the show in your sparkly mask, so I had to come up with something.
Well, you got to get them to light up then if you want to compete. I'm just a glitter ball. I'm a glitter ball with a giant brain in it. Anyway, Cheyenne Jackson is like, all right, well, listen, we got 2 weeks, but I gotta fucking put a stop to this because that dude with the pretty eyes gives me the creeps, and I don't like his light luxurious hair. And he decides that he's gonna drive to New Orleans from California because warlocks can't take the bus or a train or a plane or anything like that. He's just gonna drive and chew up a good portion of the 2 weeks that he has. And instead, what happens to him?
Oh, he gets the chop.
He gets his Achilles heels cut by Carl from Caddyshack. Not really. It was Miriam. Miriam fucks him up but good and cuts his throat so he can't cast any spells, which is a big drawback. Like, I guess that means there couldn't be any mute warlocks.
Oh, no.
You think about it.
No, no.
So
Can't be snuck up on, then what's the point then?
yeah. So then Robot Miriam runs back and talks to her boss, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna get in. The only people that can stop me are these witches. So if I get in with them on the inside and fuck with them, then they won't be able to stop me. So haha.
Mm.
Like, he didn't actually say haha, but it was, you know.
He had
was
ha-ha face.
The haha was definitely implied.
Yeah, he had ha-ha face.
Jackie wants to know what's on your hand.
I have a skeleton bracelet. Metal.
Those are terrible brass knuckles is what they are. Will they work as brass knuckles?
Wait, you want to find out?
Well, no.
Okay, so don't
Maybe
ask.
wants to know, does anyone else find the whole Seven Wonders thing annoying? It's just a line from the Stevie Nicks song. Well, good job jumping ahead. Well, that's enough. We don't want to get sued. So everybody likes your bracelet, and apparently nobody likes the fact that they wanted to get Stevie Nicks involved, so they did the Seven Wonders thing, even though those aren't the Seven Wonders that she was talking about at all.
No, it's not.
Whatever. So back at the school, Myrtle does not like the idea of Cordelia like rolling over and letting a guy be the boss of everything. And Cordelia says, listen, I can't let my own pride get in my way, Myrtle. So if this is what it takes, this is what it takes. On the other hand, Mallory, whose daughter is Billy Lord?
Oh, Carrie Fisher. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just now, realizing this and getting on the train. I apparently live under a rock with bad internet. So
yes, you do have terrible internet, but that's not the reason for that. But I mean, it's the Jackie, I will ask if things can be used as brass knuckles because that comes up way more often than you'd think. Anyways, so
you like this mug?
Oh geez. Yeah, we should just make a whole segment of the first part of the show showing Mel, where she's just showing you all the shit that she bought from the week before.
Don't be jealous.
Man, I got that font. We could just make cups like that.
We could. Maybe we'll table that and talk about that.
Get on the job later.
But I had to bust it out for, what's coming up next.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So now the other thing that Cordelia admits is she was grateful to Langdon for one thing in that he brought her girls back to her. So that's what you got.
Yeah, he brought them back to her, Queenie that she couldn't save when she tried. She never tried to get Madison, but she was glad to have her back because she's a pretty powerful witch. Mm-hmm. And then he, of course, in his descendum, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Totally ahead.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, I'm the
when you said he bought, she's glad he bought all of the girls back. So
yeah, but I was gonna say, including.
I'm sorry. I'll let you do the big reveal.
Yeah. So we get to the Test of Seven Wonders, and he just does them all, and they're all kind of stupid now that you think about it. Like they're all like little tiny things that all the witches in Hogwarts can do like in 1 second. And then the really hard one is Descendant, where you're supposed to go down into hell and come back. But in this time, she was like, nope, you got to go get Misty Day and bring her back. And all the dudes were like, that's not fair. You've changed the rules. You're moving the goalposts, Kavanaugh, blah. And Cordelia was like, well, tough titty. This is how it's got to go. And he went down, and there was a weird little skit where Misty had to keep trying to cut open a frog, and it kept coming back, and then Langdon cut the dude in half. And
well, that's hell, you know.
Well, yeah.
Okay, just making sure you knew, like, that's the same from Coven. That's the hell she couldn't escape, which is sad.
Yeah, especially since it was a frog.
Oh.
I mean, if it was like I don't know, something cuter than a frog. I'm a speciesist.
I can tell. Wow.
So Misty comes back, and no, it wasn't his fist, Jackie. He had like a scalpel thingy. Chopped him all the way up through, which I guess that guy was just a demon apparition, so I don't know if it really hurt him at all.
Yeah, that whole part was a little weird to me, because if they're not real people, they're just apparitions, like you said, in someone's hell, then they're killing them or getting rid of them. I wouldn't think would be that hard, or it wouldn't have caused pain, or we wouldn't have seen intestines fall out. So that was a bit strange to me.
Yeah, that's true. So then after Misty comes back, and he's like, oh, I'm the super supreme meat lover supreme, da-da, and they're like, all right, well, we got to do some shit. So move along, Langdon. We'll get back to you, because Cordelia's all swoony, and like she's losing her powers, and she's got some big scar on her and shit like that. Remember, like she had that all weird stuff on her.
Yeah.
But Misty's like, Cordelia, he didn't smell right, or something, like, because the first thing she does is smell him. And Cordelia's like, I knew it all along. He was the devil. He was never a witch at all, but I needed him to bring you back to me so that I could have my full squad. Because apparently, even though Billy Lord can bring deer back from the dead, and whatever the fuck Coco's got going on with her being able to smell gluten.
Oh my gosh. Just
her super posse.
That's
and, she says, yep, well, we got to fight now. And Misty Day says, no, I don't want to fight. I'm done fighting. I'm 4,000,000-0 against a frog, and I want to hang up while my record is undefeated. And she's like, no, wait, maybe I can change your mind and roll old Stevie Nicks in here to do a musical number, which was better than Jessica Lange doing the Banana Nana Fofana song.
Are you kidding me right now?
Well, I'm just saying it was better purely because it was an actual singer. And the more she sang, the less she had to try to act. Because Stevie Nicks, and you could have done anything you wanted in the 70s when they let anybody do whatever they wanted. If she could act at all, she already would have been doing a shit ton of acting. And yet, no, she never did. So they just had her say like two things. She didn't even, poor thing, she didn't even time her arm thing in time when the doors opened. Like, she was like 2 seconds behind. It was really sad. And I'm like, man, you could have CGI'd the fucking doors. God damn it.
Okay, whoa. That's enough Stevie bashing.
I'm just saying.
I'm not going to stand for this. So.
Then.
Some of us got excited about seeing Stevie Nicks.
Hey, I was excited to see her doing something besides a ton of coke. So that was good for her. And she really inspired Misty Day. So that was like probably a big deal. You know what I mean? And right at the end, they start cooking up some schemes. And they're like, listen, Madison, since you're the smart one in the group and the hot one, and the one that can get everything done. We need you to go out to the murder house to get the skinny on Langdon, because that's where it quote unquote all started.
Right.
And the one of the warlock dudes was like, well, I'm going with you because whatever, I'm a double agent or some shit like that. And so we leave the whole episode with Langdon figuring he's going to be the Supreme. All the warlocks of note, like the guy from SVU and whatever, are on his side, except the one that went with Madison. Madison's going to Murder House. Mallory is becoming more and more powerful. Also, Coco is there. And battle lines are getting drawn.
Yeah. Well, that was a great summary, Acadia. Thank you. I'd say you hit all the highlights there.
I think so.
Yeah. So
Did I miss anything?
I don't think so. No, I think you got it all.
All right. I even played the song, so hey.
Thank you. I know. We for those of us that love Stevie Nicks or Fleetwood Mac, we thank you for that.
Wait a minute. Jackie Torrance said, what about Meade scheming to get Michael into the Warlock School?
Yes, we'll get there, girl. We'll get there. So I will have to say one thing about Stevie Nicks, though, and this this season's appearance for her. I like the song choice better. And like you said, she didn't have a lot of lines. She didn't have to try to act anything out, because in Coven, she, had a little backstory and was cutting it up with Fiona and whatnot. And so I am glad that they kept that to a little bit of a minimum, but I was still excited to see her, and I was glad that she had her moment in the spotlight. And her whole appearance and performance, for me, just proved what a monster Mike really is, because he didn't give two shits about that Stevie Nicks performance. And he was giving Kay side-eye the whole time, and I was not appreciative of that at all. You don't treat the queen like that. He wasn't impressed. And you know what, Mike? You're getting on my poo-poo list, and I don't know if that's good or bad, so.
Poor Mike.
I mean, I know he's just like, a warlock guy, and he's trying to live in a warlock world, but you just don't diss the queen like that.
Well, I mean, I don't even know what to say about that, poor guy.
Well, I'm not poor guy on him on nothing, so.
Fine.
But yeah, so. Huh?
I said fine.
So the beginning of the episode was pretty cool to me, although I will say it was reminiscent of something, and I had a nice little chuckle over it. I thought to myself, wow, they really they've already got like several seasons of American Horror Story that they've incorporated into this season already. And now they're doing a total Walking Dead thing where they've got flesh-eating mutants or zombies, whatever, you want to call them.
I hadn't thought about it that way. Yeah.
And it kind of looked like the first season of The Walking Dead, where everything was shot in this very cool lens, and everything was almost grayish. But I thought her vision was pretty, it spooked me a little, I'm not going to lie. It was just crazy, and I didn't want to see her getting torn apart like that. It hurt my heart. But Michael laughing in his boo face was super creepy to me. So, yeah, I can imagine it freaked her out a bit to see that vision.
Yeah, but if you're the boss of witches, wouldn't you just see like shit like that all the time?
Well, I don't know. I mean, we know that she's got the gift of sight, because even though she willfully blinded herself in Coven before she was named Supreme, and then she regained her health, but we know that's how she was able to have the third eye and the sight, and she saw things in the future, like she saw Fiona's plan or what was in her mind to kill everyone in the coven and try to remain supreme, you know, and all of that. So I suppose, like you said, that's right. She's got the vision. So she has to have these types of things happen to her, but I doubt it was anything that vicious, especially after the timing of it is like after she came to Hawthorne's school for boys and met Michael and went through the whole rigmarole. And then, you know, she passes out, and that's the vision she has when she passes out. I don't know if she touched him before she passed out or anything like that, but, you know, it's like the vision came in after she met him. So.
Fair.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, we were told that Coco is useless. The Lipton tea joke was cute. Let me see. Then Damiel said, love Stevie, but think the chain would have been a less cheesy reference than the Seven Wonders if they felt like her song lyrics needed to be built into the plot.
I like it. I like it. I would have loved to hear the chain.
And then everybody thinks that the zombies were actually the canker pus monsters.
Well, right. I fully believe that's what they are. That's what was eating the horses in the beginning of the season. It's just funny that they're like flesh eating. It's almost like they're zombies. But yeah, I fully agree that they're the canker pus mutants and you know, radiated gross things. But to talk about Mallory and everything, because after that, like you said, Cordelia tells Michael, you know, in 2 weeks' time, you can take the Seven Wonders test, and everybody, you know, gets extremely excited over this and whatnot. Mallory, she's got something that we haven't seen before, which lends my, you know, thoughts to her being something a little bit more divine, or, you know, I know that I've seen a lot of theories tossed around about her being an angel or being some type of more of an angelic power, but she did heal the deer, and then she reversed the deer's aging, so it scampered away as a baby fawn.
I thought it was little to start with.
No, it was a full-grown, you know, adult deer, and so she healed it, and, you know, poor little legs were unbroken and things like that, and then she even turned back the aging process, and it left, you know, the area as a fawn. So that's why I've said it kind of from the beginning, I suppose, and it's been kind of iffy for me, but I just believe that she's got something more than what a Supreme would have, or, you know, your run-of-the-mill witch, you know, which they're very powerful in themselves. But just seeing her, because she did Resurgence, which is when she, you know, she brought the deer back, but she also did that extra part of it by reversing the age. So I'm thinking that that's going to play some type of part in if they are able to somehow turn back time before the apocalypse, or something. Just turn
Michael Langdon into a baby and then just kick him.
Yeah, or turn back the time all the way to where Vivian was pregnant and just, you know, I let her accidentally fall down the stairs. That's super terrible. I should not say that. Oh my gosh. But nothing good came out of that, folks, and we know that. So it's not that bad of a thing, right? Because she lost her one baby, and then she died and got stuck in the house, and then she had a devil baby. So I think it probably would have come out a lot better on everybody's end if that didn't happen.
Yeah, probably, but then the show wouldn't have been as good. So,
well, of course, yeah.
Lose some to win some, I guess.
But yeah, so that was the main thing about Mallory. And so obviously we know why at this point a few things clicked, why she and Coco were together to begin with, as in like, you know, Mallory was her assistant or whatever. And because they came from the same school and they had the enchantment put on them. And I believe, you know, whatever they use in the spell to try to identify like who they are under the enchantment, it became that relationship of social media influencer and assistant, right? So we know why Mallory was enchanted. They know that she's got something extra, or, you know, special inside of her that's not just average. I don't understand why we need Coco. Because I'm pretty sure gluten doesn't exist in the post-apocalyptic world. I'm taking a guess here. But if someone's eating a human leg on the beach, I don't know if your gluten detector is really needed.
But Cordelia said you sensed danger. It was just that she was around such big, rich jackasses that the only danger they really had at the time was gluten.
Yeah. I'm just trying to, like, you know, discredit Coco. So thanks.
Oh, I see. So just as long as you can drag
the
mud.
Yeah, you be the rational one. I like to continue to think we don't need her and she's useless. So
she is kind of terrible, but
I will say I'm curious. Yeah, I will say I'm curious to find out now that she's out from under the enchantment and we're getting these flashbacks of the story. What if she developed her powers any before? Because I think this was 3 years before the bomb. So if she had developed her powers any, but I don't know. It's just hard for me to believe that she did anything constructive with anything that she'd been given in her life. So,
well, the Damiao in the chat just called you Noko. So
I'm so Noko. I hate to say it, but I really don't. But I don't like her. So
well, all right.
Yeah. So. But that was that little part. The Seven Wonders, I agree. It was kind of foolish to me in Coven, to be honest with you. I mean, the parts that they say qualify as, you know, what you have to have knowledge in doing seems like it would be pretty basic stuff, like moving, you know, things to you. Divination, where you know where things are, pyrokinesis, you know, all of those things. Well,
honestly, all they are is shit that you assume witches can do anyway. Because what the fuck else are they doing if they're not doing those things?
Exactly. The only thing that I would think would be the main part, or the most important part, which they've made emphasis that it is the descendum, and so, or dissension, excuse me, or whichever one it is. I'm sorry, y'all, but
it's half of both of those.
So yeah, that would be what I would think is the most important part, because they want you to be able to go to your own hell and then come out of it, you know, within the realms of that hourglass. So also I've noticed that time is a theme, which that could be going nowhere, but that's where I got my thoughts on perhaps Mallory is going to somehow manipulate time. But I don't know how they're going to accomplish that, because when it's in present day, he's already nuked the world, or he's already gone through this plan. So I'm curious to know what they're going to do at Murder House, or like exactly what they're going to find out there, or what kind of information they're going to bring from there, because unless it's some big super scheme, and it probably is at the end of the season, you know, I don't quite know, because they didn't really stop what he was doing.
I mean,
it seems to me like they would have been able to, if they had had enough information, they would have just been able to stop it instead of letting it happen.
I guess. I mean, the fact is that now that we're getting into this is what the fight is going to be, which, if you think about it, we had quite a few discussions about that whole thing, about, what exactly was it going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Now we know that it's going to be witches versus, I don't know what the fuck,
Warlock? Or we're talking about Michael?
warlocks. Michael and what's her name?
Miriam?
Yeah, that's all he's got on his team.
Well, no, he's got Dr. Wong, I believe, or Dr. Wu from Jurassic Park.
As soon as they figure he's going to kill them all, as soon as he realizes that they're not like, and actually, no, he already did kill them all because they're not in the school by the time the apocalypse comes.
Yeah, but if there's a real cooperative, some of them might be part of it. Like Ariel, we found out that Ariel gave Miriam the details on John Henry, and that's how she found him and, slit his, oh, God. I'm just going to go ahead and tell y'all right now, that was so cringeworthy to me because for some crazy reason, I've always had this insane fear that someone's under my car and they are going to slit my ankles like that. And it's just the stupidest thing. But when she did that, I was like, ooh, I thought I had to take a moment because I was like, this really just made my whole body like shiver. But yeah, so if it weren't for Ariel, she wouldn't have really known how to find John Henry and then kill him. Well, and I use that loosely because Cheyenne Jackson is part of the main credits. I don't believe that they would have him in 2 episodes and then kill him off.
I mean, yeah.
Well, because if you think about it, Myrtle's been burned at the stake twice and she's been brought back. So.
Well, yeah, and Misty can bring anybody back.
Right.
Mallory now, I mean, anybody can friggin' do it.
Exactly.
Don't even matter now.
Queenie can't do it.
All right.
But anyway, that's just from Coven. Yeah. And that was really sad to me because I like John Henry. Of course, it's mainly because I love Cheyenne Jackson because he is hot. And he looks really good as a warlock with his smudgy eyeliner and his beautiful slick back hair. And I'm just going to stop right now. Otherwise, I'll spend the next hour talking about how gorgeous this man is. But
as long as I get equal time for Emma Roberts, it's fine with me.
No, just kidding. But so it's just disappointing, and that's why I just don't believe that he's dead or that he's not going to come back in some capacity. And I think he did. So you think Behold, which is the guy that has the tendency of busting into rooms when people are in there doing private things like having a discussion or packing to leave. Right. Sassafras, Behold is his name. So you think that he would be doing double agent stuff, or do you think that he did believe John Henry because he hadn't come back yet?
Oh no, I think he is a double agent against his own gang.
Oh yeah, okay, so that's what you meant by that. So I was thinking like
Jackie said John Henry was so hot he ended up on fire.
I like that, Jackie. Bada bing, bada boom. Nice. Yes. Oh, you're right. So he is definitely double agent, and I think it has a lot to do with John Henry leaving because if he left shortly after he saw the Boo Face himself when they gave him the big old pep rally, and all that mess, then it's been a couple of weeks and he hasn't returned. And I'm sure that they haven't heard. Well, they haven't heard from him, I know, but I'm sure that Behold has wondered because he's the only one that really knew where he was going.
True.
And Ariel is a traitor. He helped kill, which was so weird to me. It's like for him, it's just so power play motivated. You know, he wants to be so much better than the Supreme and the witches, and he wants to finally be in power. But obviously, Michael is not the type of face, literally, that they want for the Warlocks, I don't think. But you know, I don't know if you noticed this, because you know I watch it like a few times before we do our streams on Friday nights, but Michael got this really super weird look on his face when Ariel cut his hand and put the blood into the salt mixture that they put around him for the protection spell, or, you know, whatever. So
really?
Yeah, he just, so, you know, he was like, behold, said, you know, here's the salt from the earth, and then John Henry, here's the seawater to cleanse it. Dr. Is it Wu from Jurassic Park? That's what I call him, because that's who he is.
He's Dr. Wong from SVU.
Wong. But he's also from Jurassic Park, right? Or no? I was fairly certain that he's from Jurassic Park.
He'd been in the original Jurassic Park.
Huh?
Yeah, I think he was when he was super young.
And he's in the Lost.
Dr. Wong.
Huh?
Super creepy in the beginning, and then kind of became a good guy.
In what?
In SVU.
Oh,
like,
okay.
if you watch the original SVUs with him in it, he was like a freak.
Well, he was I'm pretty sure well, I could be wrong, but I'm fairly certain that he's also the scientist from Jurassic Park and then Jurassic World that just wants the big dinosaur they created in the first Jurassic World. He wants that DNA to do another one. Anyways, that's a whole different. Don't get me started on Jurassic Park. I could take
a different show.
Well, and I could talk to you for 45 hours about Jurassic Park. But anyway, so
whatever. All right.
But anyways, he said the little spell words, I believe, and then Ariel cut his hand and put the blood in there, and the blood was for the protection. And then they mix it around, and they, huh?
Maybe he didn't want to get the hep.
No, I think he was like, ooh, I want to. I think there's something with the blood, because we've seen him take the blood bath already to summon his father. So
that was his own blood.
I know, but I still think that he's got some kind of freaky fetish with blood.
Yeah.
I could be reading into it, but he just gave it a really weird look.
He said in the chat that he did get a weird look on his face. I'm just saying I'm probably afraid to get the hep.
He doesn't want to ruin that perfect health that is required by the Supreme. So, okay, I'll take that. I'll take that for what it is, Acadia. So, anyways, and yeah, we get shocked to find out that the whole plan this whole time, which it's all from perspective, of course, because we wanted to believe that Michael was just living this life with this woman who worshiped, Satan or whatever, and Devil Mama, and she knew who she was raising, but it didn't go much further than just maybe religious, or, well, if you want to call it that, appreciation, or whatever you want to call it, devout to Satanism, or in any way. But we find out, which it all makes sense now, because Michael might have acted all innocent after he killed the butcher, in the room, and then he killed that detective. He said he didn't know what he was doing and all this and that. I believe that somehow Miriam was the person that got this video over to Hawthorne's, because was it Ariel that presented them with that?
Oh, now that's a good. Yes, he was the one that said he got it from
a sympathetic cop. Yeah, and so now my wheels are turning, and I'm like, okay, so she obviously somehow got this to him. I don't know how, and that could be wrong, but And then that's what drummed up their interest. And then, but Ariel was in on it all the time because he's the one that went and got him out of jail. And then Michael killed that guard, after Ariel just threw him up against the wall. And we saw that he did his hand and it snapped that guard's neck and whatever. So looking back, obviously you can see that that's what happened. But at the time, I just thought, well, he's a little bit devilish, but maybe with some structure, he can get that under control. Or grow his power, which is obviously what happened. I was surprised when Ariel came out of those woods. I was just like, do you really, is that power, you're that power hungry, Yeah.
I mean,
men are jealous of women because we do everything better, so.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's what you get.
That's what you get. I mean, it is what it is.
So then, all right. Cordelia has a plan then. If we go through everything we're trying to figure out right now is who the hell is going to be on Michael's side other than Miriam. And I'm still convinced that it's going to be nobody because he's going to kill all those dipshit warlocks because the warlocks weren't even any good at witching around anyway. Right?
I think he'll kill all of his fellow students. I don't think that they'll be of any use to him. And obviously, if Behold is going to be a double traitor to them, then he'll find out and he won't have any use for him. And I'm not sure about Dr. Wu. But it's just the Ariel because I feel like maybe he can trust him or has some trust in him now, someone that's on his side, but is on the inside with him, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does. I guess.
But I don't think he's making any longtime friends that he's going to be pen pals with or anything like that.
No, because I think at the end of it, the only people that he ever trusted were the only person he ever trusted was Miriam, and Miriam is with him after whatever happens in between what we just saw and when the actual apocalypse happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that there are a bunch of danguses that are going to fuck everything up. But I also think that the guy that went with Madison to the murder house, he'll probably stick around and be on their team.
Behold, yeah, he might actually fight on the Coven side. You're right. I like him, and I did believe him when he came in there because I had some thoughts though after watching it a couple of times where I was like, well, is he really doing that or is he going to just spy on the witches and then report it back to whomever? But I do think that he honestly took what John Henry had to say to heart. He probably started taking note of some odd things. And then, of course, John Henry didn't show back up. So, and I'm hoping that that's what it is. But I can't wait for him to get in that murder house because he is just going to tear them to pieces.
Yeah. And, I think if he really wanted to, I don't think he sent the other dude as a spy. I think that if he thought anything like that was going to happen, then he would have just killed him then. You know what I mean? Because do you have any doubt in your mind right now that Michael could kill most of the witches that are there at the time?
No, I know he could.
So then, and Cordelia's smart enough to know if we're going to beat him, we have to go get more information. So she knows it too. So I don't think that Langdon expects for a minute that they're going to fight back. So I don't think he sent a dude as a spy because I didn't think he needed a spy.
Well, no, you're right. I just didn't know if Behold could have possibly just done it on his own to stay in the good graces of Michael. But I don't think that too much anymore, to be honest. So And let's talk about that one scene in hell though. That freaked me out when all of the kids just opened their mouths and it was like all of this jibber jabber. It wasn't talking to me. I mean, Misty said that they were talking to each other, but that was just so creepy. That gave me the chills too. So I probably would have came back and been like, don't mess around with this guy. Stay away from him. But
that was super creepy.
God.
And I think not only was it super creepy, but I think it was a version to me. I took it as the evil version of like holy rollers speaking in tongues.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right.
That he understood it because
he's an Antichrist.
Nasty demon language or whatever.
I did think it was funny also when Miriam was like, oh, he's on our side. Just don't mention your father. So it could be that Ariel is a pawn for them to get access and move up and all of that. But he doesn't know what Michael is, really. No,
I don't think he has a clue. And the chat said, Damiel said the reverse sexism among the warlocks and witches is interesting, but ultimately they will show that the women are the more powerful. Yeah, I think that's without a doubt.
I think that's going to happen. I don't want to be proven wrong.
As soon as the warlocks figure out that Cheyenne Jackson was right and they try to do something about it, because for fuck's sake, Michael almost froze them all to death during their own dumb, stupid, basic-ass test.
Yeah, and now, looking back, he's trying to act like he didn't have any power over that, but he was messing with them the whole time. For sure.
He was a troll from the jump.
He's a troll. Mike Troll.
100%. 100%. So now, in our last 10 minutes here.
Yep.
Tell me what you think, Mel's, that they're going to get out of the murder house, or presumably the ruins of the murder house, that's going to help them.
Well,
I mean, one presumes they're going to be able to talk to the ghosts. So
yeah, but I don't know how easy that's going to be, because if you watched the previews for next week, they had a circle with, I want to say, a Ouija board. It might have been something different. And they were basically saying, the ghosts don't want to show themselves. Now, a lot of people thought, it's because they're so terrified of Michael. I think it's because all of the spirits in there, when we saw at the end of Murder House, were peaceful spirits. And we've had this conversation. They were peaceful and they weren't negative, entities, and they didn't have that kind of hate in them. So they probably just don't want to bring themselves out because they don't want to do it anymore. They don't want to scare people and all of that. On the other hand of that, though, they did have the missions of scaring everybody that bought the house off. So they might have got tired of that after it hadn't sold. And I thought to myself, finally, we're going to see our really annoying real estate lady again. But then I forgot that she got killed at the Cortez.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So I'm like, damn, Cortez. I mean, anybody else you want to just take away from us and we can't see him again? But so I'm excited. And what I really want to see out of it is I wonder if we'll get Billy Dean, because I wonder how many Murder House episodes we're going to have in reality, because what is the big part that Murder House is going to play? And I know that's the whole thing that we're talking about is they can't leave that house though. So it's not like they can go and fight and do anything unless that house is a hellmouth.
Well, I mean, I was looking up a bunch of crap, getting ready for the show. They pointed out the fact that the Rubberman suit in the original Murder House season, the father threw the Murder House the rubber suit away, and Tate got it back, but it wasn't on Halloween, so he broke the go off campus rule
Well, no, I think you can go in the yard.
No, but it was in the trash outside.
Well, maybe it wasn't Tate that got it back.
Well, who's going to go, oh, I better go bring the rubber suit back to the ghost?
I don't know. It might have been Constance. Maybe we'll get some of those questions answered. I mean,
to me, I think they're going to get something that's going to give him power, because if he's worried about his blood or anything like that, even though he shed his own blood as part of the Seven Wonders
he
ritual?
did. He didn't share it. He cut himself to do the pyro kinesis or whatever, but he didn't share it with anyone. But he did cut himself. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. These are
the things I want to see. And if Ryan Murphy doesn't deliver to me, and I know that he's watching this because I just feel it in my heart. If I don't see Tate, my Kurt Cobain boyfriend, crying over Violet.
I don't even know what you're looking for, because at the end of the day,
oh, Tate's gonna be there.
Yeah, Tate'll be there, but you can't get a bad guy to beat a bad guy. Like it doesn't make any sense unless there's some jealousy involved. And why would Tate be jealous of his own son?
I don't think that there's jealousy, but okay, and this is a tinfoil. Y'all know I like to put my tinfoil hat on.
Mm-hmm.
When I think about it, I think about the reason Violet doesn't ever want to talk to him again is because he raped her mother. It's really not because of him scaring the bully. It's really not, I don't think, because of what he did in his life while he was alive. Because I think that he showed his soft side to her, and I do believe that he has one. I just think that he's innately evil for some reason. But the one person that could break him and change things about him is Violet. She said she never wanted to talk to him again, but she only did that after she found out that he raped her mother and caused her to die. So if for some reason they use Violet, because I know that Violet, or Taissa is going to also be playing Violet. So I know that she's going to be doing that. So she'll be seen in the house. If for some reason they can convince her to make him believe that she'll talk to him again, or if he does this one thing, maybe she will, give him a second chance, or whatever you do in the dating afterlife. I have no idea. Especially when you're stuck in a house together. So it's not like you can't avoid them. So, but if they can get Violet to maybe do that, then there might be some kind of way or some kind of possibility that Tate would help them in some way, because it is Tate's spirit that created him in the end. It just created a satanic monster. Maybe we'll get to know what Tate is. I don't know. But I'll remove my tinfoil now, because I just went real, like, I'm looking for a Romeo and Juliet in this, because
that's not even a tinfoil hat. It's like the red cellophane they put on Valentine's candy. That's what it was.
Oh, I just want
surrounded by Tates.
I just want rose-colored glasses when it comes to him. But I do think that we're going to find out in this season that he is probably a little bit more than what they let on to him being in Murder House, which they've got the perfect opportunity to do it now. I mean, even though they touched on it in Murder House, I don't think that they had in their mind, 8 seasons or 7 seasons from now, we're going to bring this all back up. And Tate is going to be revealed for this, like, villainous monster or whatever. But I think about the bully and what she said to Violet when Violet got the pills from her that she overdosed on. But she told her plain as day, I saw, you know, the face of evil, and it was a young boy or it was a baby or whatever all she said, but that was just Tate sitting there. So that's a tenfold for me. Again, I don't think that Ryan Murphy had planned out 7 seasons.
No.
So, but that could be an easy thing to write into it to try to, you know, tie up some of those loose ends that could have been left open for interpretation from Murder House.
I guess.
I am excited to see Vivian, and I'm excited to see Ben. I think that Ben's going to obviously tell them how crazy Tate is. So I'm excited, but I'll tell you the very last scene.
Right.
Or well, of the previews, excuse me, because the last scene was them walking up on, you know, Murder House or whatever.
Yep.
In the preview it was our queen. We all know it was, because it was that beehive, that beautiful beehive, perfectly coiffed, you know, sprayed up to the heavens, not a hair out of place.
Right.
Constance. But she was coming down the stairs of the house. So do you think that Michael killed her and she is a ghost in the house? Or do you think that she was just at the house because she kind of just fucking went in and out of that house like she lived there anyway?
Right.
I like to think that we're going to find out that he killed her.
I mean, that
would be a pretty cool twist of events, and that's how he somehow got hooked up with Miriam. You know, I don't know, but
pretty cool, actually.
That to me, that would be awesome, because it just would be like the ultimate heartbreak and betrayal for Constance, and that's sad to me that she had this second chance in her eyes to raise a child, and even though she knew it was a demon baby, but try to raise it properly or be a loving mother figure to him. Just would be an awesome kind of turn of events if he just killed her one day as well and got into a proper mother-son relationship with Miriam, where she actually fed his satanic roots and encouraged him. So this will probably get answered later in the season, but I'm curious to also see when Miriam came into all of this. I'm just excited about going to the Murder House. I want to see that beautiful house again. I want to go to the basement again.
Oh yeah, I know, right? So now, I'm going to wrap us up with 2 things from Damio in the chat. One of them was, I'm pretty sure Constance would have dragged herself into that house so she could stick around forever.
Agree.
The other thing is the plot hole that they have to deal with. The email on Michael's computer was dated October 21st, 2021, but Billy Dean Howard filmed 3 episodes live from the Hotel Cortez on October 30th, 2022. Okay. That's the biggest timeline hole they have.
Well, but is it?
Well, it depends on if they reverse time.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean,
well, hold on though. What if, I don't know if those 2 places are going to be remained standing after this nuclear apocalypse, because if they're the mouths of hell,
LA.
Well, but if they're the mouths of hell, I don't know. They might be. But even if they're not, it would make sense if we're going with the whole thought that Mallory can manipulate time, that Billy Dean would be giving that interview at the Cortez 1 year afterwards.
Yeah, but if it was a nuclear thing, then they wouldn't. Tammy, I said they should get Cher to come on and sing "If I Could Turn Back Time."
Now that I would die. So
scream in alt caps on Twitter for an hour. So I think The only way they're going to be able to do that, there's no way that they can keep the, oh, yes, a nuclear bomb fell on Los Angeles, and then later on they did a documentary live from a hotel in the middle of a fallout zone. So it does lend credence to the idea that they're just going to pull a fucking Avengers and turn back time and undo all the shit that happened.
What would you do if Tony Stark showed up?
They don't even need Tony Stark. They got witches and shit.
I know. I'm just saying. What if he showed up with his like barf technology and
Well, that's one of the things that I always found fascinating about. Well, it's more so in DC, although they Doctor Strange and everything in Marvel. In Marvel, they sort of make the magical folks sort of the same power-wise as like the other heroes and everything like that. You know what I mean? Like if Iron Man was going to fight Doctor Strange, it would be like a good fight. You know what I mean?
Right. It wouldn't be a fight against someone more powerful than the other one.
No, but if they fought each other, they'd make it like even. Like,
right.
Whereas in DC, Superman has absolutely no protection against magic whatsoever. So any magical like Swamp Thing, the Demon, any of that, like even fucking Constantine could fuck Superman right up. Like, and that's what one of the things that I always thought was fun, and they do it to some degree in Marvel, is that the magic people are like, oh yeah, you guys are all fun and you do your stuff over there, but we're doing our magic shit here and we'll just ruin you if you cross us. You know what I mean? So the idea of them just going full on with the magic element is their kind of the kind of end game that I think they can actually pull off. And now if I'm really thinking about it, maybe the end of this, because this is supposed to be the second to the last one, right?
Well, no, there's 10 episodes, right?
Right, but then there's one more season after this.
Oh, yeah. Now, and I have some thoughts on that as well, but go ahead. Well, you're probably about to say what I have my thoughts on.
I think they're going to end up back to the sort of thing where it was Lady Gaga as the Supreme, but everything else is primitive again because they fucked up the whole Earth.
Well, that's a good, I like that. That's not the theory I had. But...
And 10th season. So much for, hey, they had an idea and they were doing the 9 circles of hell from Dante's Inferno, because if they have a 10th fucking, you know what? Fuck these people saying they have plans and shit.
I don't think this is their last season at all. I think the next season
they got renewed for 9 and 10.
Well, there you go.
But Murphy said, oh no, it's the 9 circles of hell from Dante's Inferno. Except for the little known fucking 10th level, they paid us again. God damn it. All right, well now I got a sour taste in my mouth, Mel's.
You put it in there yourself.
No, Ryan Murphy put it in there.
My theory was just not that vicious. I was just going to say maybe this is a two-part story. Because think about where we're at, and if we're going with the story that we're going with, I mean, we're on episode 6 next week. I don't know how you're going to tie everything up in 4 episodes. I don't know, because all of their other seasons have run like 12 to 13 episodes.
Yeah, but they also had like 4 episodes that had nothing to do with the rest of the fucking show.
Well, I understand, but I'm just thinking that maybe they're going to do some type of season 8 and season 9 being companion seasons, perhaps, and then season 10 being like what maybe you've suggested, where it just all goes back to the beginning.
Well, that would be good.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't write these shows, and there's a reason why.
No, but you know what we do? We make videos. Ha ha!
Oh, we do make videos. That's true.
Stay tuned this week, because we're going to start putting some other videos up on the channel about stuff that we think about during the week about the show that we don't have time to fit into this show. and by the time next week rolls around, it would suck. And if you didn't catch the last 2 episodes on the podcast, that's completely due to technical shittery that has been unshitted, and you should be right back on track. And I guess that's it, Mel's, unless you wanted to end it on anything else.
No, I'm excited for next week. I hate to just kind of cloud up this episode because I enjoyed the episode. Like you said, I don't think it was as good as last week, but it was a stellar and solid episode. I hate it that in my mind, as soon as I saw Murder House, I just totally lost interest in this whole episode. And I'm just so anticipating the next one. So, but one more thing, when they do show in the previews at the bottom of the stairs, do you think that I just hiccuped? Excuse me, y'all. Must be this normal people scare me mug. Oh, so anyway, do you think that's Billie Dean, or do you think that's Cordelia at the bottom?
Oh, Cordelia.
You think? Because it didn't show Cordelia. It didn't show her walking up with Behold and Madison. That might not say much, but
yeah,
Billie Dean she's supposed to come back. I'm just wondering how many episodes are they going to spend on the Murder House, because there are only going to be 4 left after that.
That's true. Danielle thought it was Billie Dean, and now everyone's wondering what's in the mug because you're hiccuping. So, Rub-a-Dub, I guess it's time for you to go sweep it off.
It's sweet tea, y'all, and that's the truth.
Sure it is. All right, then, everybody. Listen, thank you as always for joining us, and watch for those videos this week. If you're you must be on the channel. Hit subscribe, and I guess hit the little bell thing, because that'll make sure you get notified when another video gets posted. That's
right. And as always, thank y'all so much for coming and hanging out with us on this Friday night. That's gonna have to get edited out, and that's gonna really drive me nuts. So thank you for supporting us. Subscribe, turn notifications on, leave comments, and then you can also check us out at superficialgallery.com. We put up reviews of the podcast, little one-off articles and things like that about where we're at in the series and what might be going on, and some unanswered questions we might have. So just hit us up there as well.
Yep, or hit us on Twitter, any way you want. We always answer. And thank you, Terry, too. Everybody in the chat, you're the best. I think we're probably going to have to get a chat monitor so that I can pay attention to one thing, because I'm too stupid to pay attention to 2 things. All right, everybody.
Y'all have a very fine Friday night. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll talk to y'all next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
The hiccup.